Good morning again, G11 Rhinestone and Granite. I was actually recording earlier. Ang problema hindi gumagalaw itong aking slide. So, inulit ko. So, we will be talking about information and communications technology. But basically, we will not be delving too much with regards to technology because we will be focusing on communications. And practically, I will be providing you with a weekly supplemental lectures with regards to empowerment technologies and I mean, not the subject, but the topic components of the subject so that you will be able to have an in-depth understanding with the things that we are trying to discuss. Actually, it's going to be harder, especially these days during this time of pandemic because we have several restrictions. Whereas during a normal classes, you need to do a hands-on with the subjects. There are computers provided for you. However, we will make do of what are the available resources that we have so that we will still push through with the subject. So ICT in our everyday lives will be focusing on online platforms, sites, and contents. The difference with regards to Web 2.0 and Web 3.0, the World Wide Web, and the trends in ICT. Okay? So the introduction will basically provide you knowledge with regards to that state of ICT technologies in the Philippines and of course globally, and then the online systems, functions, and different online platforms. Okay, so these are the objectives. You should be able to improve your knowledge on how ICT affects their everyday lives and the state of our nations. Compare and contrast the differences between online platforms, sites, and content, understand the features of Web 2.0, understand the future of World Wide Web through Web 3.0, and learn the different trends in ICT and use them to their advantage. I have already provided you with regards to the activities, so there is no need for you to do an added activities. You can just watch this and then take and have deeper knowledge with what we are trying to discuss and impart to you. Okay? So, information and communication technology deals with the use of different communication technologies. So, this includes your mobile phones, your smartphones, the telephones, the internet, etc., to locate, save, send, and edit information. Actually, this pandemic, we are heavily dependent with regards to the use of ICT platforms because this is the only way that we will be able to communicate with each other without actually infecting if you are infected with COVID-19 without actually infecting each other. So we are going to make use with whatever available at hand na mga communication devices that we have. Of course, the use of internet is very, very much important during these times, okay? But all those gadgets that you have are part of the communication technologies. Okay? So, Web 1.0. So, what is Web 1.0? When the World Wide Web daw was invented, lumiit ako. Ayan, ayan, okay na. Most web pages were static. Pag sinabi natin static, it is flat page or stationary page, walang gumagalaw, walang animations, and then hindi yung nakakapag-direct sa kung ano-ano pang pages. That is static. I don't know if you have come across a website na ang nakalagay lang doon is puro mga pictures and mga text. And basically, walang ibang nakalagay and wala not even a color tone. You call it a static web page. And basically, it is called the Web 1.0. That is Web 1.0. Okay? Yan yung mga websites ng panahon pa ni Kopong. Actually, the websites came in at around 80s, some at 70s, but basically, statics lang yan. If you know if you know what is a landing page, you can research it on the internet. That is an example of a static web page. Walang information lang ang ibinibigay. There is no interaction between the user and whoever is the administrator of the website. Okay? So let's move on with Web 2.0, which is the dynamic web pages. Web 2.0 is the evolution of Web 1.0 by adding dynamic web pages. In here, the user is able to see a website differently than others. So example of a Web 2.0 is include social networking sites. Sa social networking sites ninyo, yung newsfeed ninyo is basically different from a newsfeed nung ibang mga kaibigan ninyo or nung ibang tao who are also using the social media. Okay? Bakit? Kasi you customize it according to your liking. Diba? And at the same time, that is customized according to una yung mga activities ng friends ninyo, at the same time, yung mga common things that you usually visits or search, yun yung mga nauunang ipinapakita sa inyo. And that is always different from the newsfeed ng ibang tao. Okay? So that is why it is called Web 2.0. So we also have the blogs. Of course, you know, iba si vlogs at saka si the blogs. The blogs basically, you customize it, iba yung background design mo, iba yung mga font style mo, ikaw lang ang nagde-decide kung ano yon, and then at the same time, yung mga content mo, ikaw rin ang nagde-decide. Usually blogs is mostly written contents, diba? Ang alam ninyong blogs ngayon is the video logs na kung saan it uses practically the videos and uploaded that in the internet. Sometimes you can go live, di ba? And then wikis, these are information heavy na mga websites, video sharing sites. Ano ba yung mga example ng video sharing sites? Of course, the most popular is YouTube, and then hosted services, and of course, other web applications. Basta merong dynamics between the user and the administrator or the creator of that web pages, you call it a dynamic web page, and that is Web 2.0. Okay? And then Web 2.0 daw allows users to interact with the page instead of just reading a page, which is common sa Web 1.0. The user may be able to comment or create a user account. Web 2.0 allows user to use web browsers instead of using just their operating system. Browsers can now be used for their user interface, application software, or web application, and even for files to storage. Yun yung mga nagagawa ninyo sa inyong mga social media accounts, di ba? You can comment, you can share the post of other people. Yun naman lagi ninyo ginagawa pag wala kayong ma-post tungkol sa anong to. Sarili ninyo, and then you can customize it. Sino yung mga gusto mong maging audience ng isang post mo, for example, kanino mo siya gustong i-hide, etc. And then, what else? You can store files. Yes, you can actually store files and even send files through Messenger. Although you have to be very aware na basic files, and there are restrictions with regards to the file volume kapag tayo ay nagpapadala using the social media sites, kasi it is not intended for that, although it has the capability of doing such things. Okay? If you have questions, doon lang tayo sa ating group chat. Magsabi, and then I'm going to respond to you. Then most website daw that we visit nowadays is of course created using the tools of Web 2.0. So these are the features of Web 2.0. Number one, taxonomy. It allows the users to categorize and classify, arrange information using freely chosen keywords or tagging. It is commonly popular on social networking sites such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and etc. It uses the tag that start with a pound sign. This is also referred to as hashtag. So basically, a Web 2.0 has a feature of taxonomy. So ibig sabihin, you can categorize things. If you are going to use hashtags kasi, it creates a compilation of a similar post having the same hashtags, di ba? Like for example, hashtag Pogi si Sir. Yan. Nag-hashtag kayo ng Pogi si Sir. If other people are also using the same hashtag and you click on that, di ba nag-blue siya? And you click on that, ipapakita sa inyo ni website lahat ng mga posts na merong hashtag Pogi si Sir. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, you will be able to categorize everything according to the hashtags. Pero, be very careful then when it comes to using hashtag kasi kapag parami na ng parami yung mga hashtags naman, ang nangyayari is it compiled several volume of content sa isang hashtag. Sometimes hindi pa naman nangyayari, but it could actually result into crashing the use of the internet, di ba? The number 2 feature of Web 2.0 is rich user experience. The content is dynamic and is responsive to users' input. An example would be website that shows local content. In that case, a social networking sites when logged on your account is used to modify what you see in their websites. This is the reason actually kung bakit sometimes you are asked to turn on your locations. Sometimes kung ano ang lagi mong sinesearch, yun yung unang ipinapakita kayo sa inyo kapag nag-search kayo. Usually, the suggestion comes in from the most commonly searched on that device or on that account, di ba? Like for example, sa market, lagi kang nagpo-post tungkol sa burger, okay? And then, or you are always searching for a burger sa marketplace. Usually, kapag kayo nag-login ulit, yun yung unang ipapakita sa'yo kahit hindi pa kayo nagsisearch tungkol doon. That is why it is called a rich user experience. And there are also other sites na wala ka pang ginagalaw. Binuksan mo pa lang yung kanilang si Google mo, nagsisimula ka pa lang na mag-type ng S or C, dalawang letters pa lang, meron na agad suggestion sa inyo. Yung usually common na ni-research mo before or yung usually malapit sa iyo na pwede mong, that is related to your previous searches. Okay? The next would be long tail. Services are offered daw on demand rather than on a one-time purchase. In a certain case, time-based pricing is better than file-size-based pricing or vice versa. This is synonymous to subscribing to a data plan that charges you for the amount of time you spent in the internet or data plan that that charges you for the amount of bandwidth that you used. Web 2.0 daw basically charges you or you use it paid services according to the plans that you have subscribed. Like for example, if you are subscribing for a 1-week plan, sasabihin sa'yo, okay, 1 gig for 1 week and may add-ups pa, di ba? And basically, that is how much you are paying for the use and access of the internet. And you call it long term. Hindi ka charge nila doon sa, di ba, pumunta ka sa isang site na ganito, i-charge ka. Pumunta ka na naman sa ganito, i-charge ka. Or ginawa mo yung ganito, nag-create ka ng account sa ganito, i-charge ka. No. You can always use the internet according to the plan that you have subscribed, commonly in bulk, and basically you can do whatever as long as you stay within the limit of your subscription. And then user participation, the owner of the website now is not the only one who is able to put content. Others are able to place a content of their own by means of comments, reviews, and evaluation. Nagagawa niya yan sa Facebook, di ba? And sometimes may mga yung online seller nagpapalegit check pa sa inyo, di ba? So these are user participation. At the same time, if you are going to notice yung Wikipedia, there is a button there where you can actually edit the content, di ba? That is a user participation. And although it is quite risky, but there is actually a group of people who validates that and assure the quality ng mga nilalagay ninyo? Teka lang, magpo-post lang ako. Okay. Continuing our discussions, the fifth features of Web 2.0 is software as a service. Users will subscribe to software only when needed rather than purchasing them. There is a cheaper option if you do not always need to use a software. Like for example, Google Docs, it is a free web-based applications. That are you familiar with Google Docs? Okay? You're just going to use online Word, spreadsheet, PowerPoint, etc. Although there are some limitations, but basically, if you're going to use online platforms in creating documents, there is no chance for its corruption, and at the same time, yung mawawala or hindi mo ma-access kasi naiwan mo yung device. So anywhere you can access your document if you created it using Google Docs, di ba? And then it allows the users to create and edit word processing and spreadsheet documents online. When you need a software like word processor, you can purchase it for a one-time huge amount and install it in your computer and it's yours forever. So ganun yung Web 2.0. Bili ka ng isang lisensyadong software and then habang buhay mo na siyang magagamit unless na makorrupt yan, di ba? And then software as a service allows you to rent a software for minimal fee. Sometimes kasi there are some free and downloadable software na naman, di ba? Although there are some restrictions, but it is always encouraged na yung mga original software ang ginagamit natin when it comes to software. Kasi there are some cases, especially in big companies, na mga corporate organizations, nahuhuli sila at may penalty sa kanila kapag hindi lisensyadong software ang ginagamit ng companies. Paano naman po kami sa bahay lang? Pwede bang peke na lang yan? Hindi ko sinasabing pwede, pero ini-encourage na original. Okay? So, number 6, mass participation. It is a diverse information sharing through universal web access. Since most users can use the internet, Web 2.0's daw content is based on people from various culture. Ang daming user, ang daming information, ang daming mga bagay that everyone else in the world is sharing together using the internet. Although, ang risk dyan is there are some information na nakikita nyo sa internet ay hindi na totoo. Okay? So you need to be very aware ano yung totoo, ano yung hindi when it comes to believing with the informations na nakikita nyo sa internet. Okay? So Web 3.0 naman tayo and the Semantic Web. The Semantic Web is a movement led by the World Wide Web Consortium or the W3C. The W3C standards encourage web developers to include semantic content in their web pages. Okay? So this is an organization. They are trying to revolutionize the use of internet by introducing Web 3.0, but Web 3.0 ay hindi pa po ginagawa at hindi pa po naka-launch. Okay? So according to the W3C, the Semantic Web provides a common framework that allows data to be shared and reused across application, enterprise, and community boundaries. Although, there are some of it na rin naman who has this capability, si Web 2.0, pero hindi pa siya ganun ka-fully developed. Diba? Like for example, merong mga internet-based applications or software na exclusive sa isang kumpanya na pwede nilang i-migrate sa ibang software, like for example, or system, like for example, internet-based enrollment system, i-import natin yan sa Oracle, sa Systems, Applications, and Procedure or SAP na mga pinakamagagandang mga software sa panahon ngayon, but limited pa lang yan sa iilan na mga software. The capabilities are still restricted and limited. Although, with W3C, gusto nila maging available to everyone else in the world. Okay? So the aim of Web 3.0 is to have machines or even servers that understand the user's preference to be able to deliver web content specifically targeting the user. So gusto nilang i-personalize with whatever web content that you need, web informations that you want, web informations that may be of service to you. Gusto nila i-personalize yan that will be readily available for you. Okay? So, however, these are the problems of Web 3.0. Compatibility. So, HTML, alam nyo na yan what HTML means. Files and current web browsers could not support Web 3.0 kasi mas mataas yung kanyang mga programming language na kakailanganin. And then at the same time, hindi pa siya compatible sa kung ano yung mga programming language na nagra-run sa panahon ngayon. So security, the user security is also in questions since the machine is saving his or her preference. Kasi nagiging nagpe-personalize. Although if you are going to notice it, yung ating Google Chrome, for example, nakikita nyo ba yung bandang top right side ng inyong browser? Nakikita niyo may picture nyo na minsan doon or whoever owns the device kasi you can actually personalize that. So you are going to log in for you to be able to access the Google services and Google exclusive websites, di ba? Pero sinasabi niyan kasi is if you are going to provide your information, ang nangyayari dyan is that might be accessible to other people and it will also compromise your security, di ba? So vastness, the World Wide Web already contains billions of web pages. So mahirap yan i-customize ng isa sa mga lahat ng users niya. Although, there's nothing impossible with regards to technology naman, di ba? Vagueness, certain words are imprecise. The words old and small would depend on the user. So tingin ko matangkad ako. Di ba? Pero the thing is, if you're going to provide somebody an information, dapat daw specific. Hindi pwedeng manghuhula pa siya sa website kung ano yung dapat na ibigay sa kanya kasi hindi naman specific kung ano ang hinahanap niya, di ba? So, that is going to be a problem. The next is logic. Since machines uses logic, there are certain limitations for a computer to be able to predict what the user is referring to at a given time. Same thing, yung pinag-uusapan natin earlier. Like for example, maghahanap ako ng maganda. Oh, magandang ano? Magandang babae, magandang bahay, magandang tanawin, etc. That is going to be a problem. Okay? Kasi sasabihin niya, sasabihin ni internet, you have to be very specific so I can provide you is exactly what you wanted. Okay, next, let's move on with the trends in ICT. Sa panahon ngayon, number one, there is convergence. There is technological convergence in synergy with technology advancements to work on similar goal or task. Diba? Like Facebook. There is a convergence with Facebook. Una, si Facebook is just a social media site wherein you will be able to interact with your friends, di ba? When talking about convergence, si Facebook, meron na rin ibang services na pinoprovide. Like for example, si Facebook, pwede ka nang mag-chat. Kay Facebook, pwede kang mag-video call. Kay Facebook, pwede kang mag-send ng documents. Kay Facebook, you can actually conduct, most recently a meeting, di ba, doon sa kanilang rooms. Pwede mo nang gawin lahat iyan with regards kay Facebook. At the same time, kasi yung technology ng chatting before, wala yan kay Facebook. Meron yan before. It is an independent software and program managed by Google, di ba? Yun yung Yahoo Messenger ba? I think that is Yahoo Messenger. MLRC, yan yung pinakaluma pang chatting chatting platform, di ba? So ngayon, pinaganda pa nga ni Facebook yan, di ba? At the same time, Skype. Before, exclusive lang si video call kay Skype. Pero ngayon, Facebook also has that capability, di ba? So there is a convergence. Kung ibababa din naman natin yung discussion, convergence, yung smartphone ninyo. Yung smartphone ninyo, dati it is only good for texting and calling. Pero ngayon, ano na nagagawa ninyo? That is already a microcomputer. So ibig sabihin, it functions like a computer, although meron ilang limitations, but you can use it as a computer for searching, gaming, ano pa ba, yung clock ninyo, monitoring of weight, ano pa, yung note, gamit ng notepad, gamit ng calendar, gamit ng calculator. There is a convergence of several technology into one technology, diba? That is convergence. Number 2 is social media. Social media daw is a website, application, or online channels that enable web users to create, co-create, discuss, modify, and exchange user-generated content. Kayo-kayo lang naman gumagawa ng content, kayo-kayo nag-video, kayo-kayo ang nagko-comment, kayo-kayo yung nagpapalike sa isa't isa. So, social media brings people together, di ba? Kasi dati, kapag malayo yan, kailangan mo pang magbayad ng mahal for a long distance call. Kapag malayo yan, ang hirap kausapin. Ngayon kasi, as long as you have a good internet connection, you will be able to interact with other people even if they are elsewhere in the world. Diba? 6 types of social media. Number 1, we have there social networks. These are sites that connect you with other people with the same interests or backgrounds. You have your Facebook, you have your Twitter, etc. Okay, so bookmarking sites, these are sites that allow you to store and manage various websites resources. I don't know if you are familiar with Pinterest, that is a bookmarking site, di ba? And then, kasi most of the content ni Pinterest nanggagaling lang din naman sa ibang websites or pag-aari ng ibang website, di ba? Wala silang original na content na galing sa kanila kasi si mga users, sila yung nagdadala ng doon. And then social news, these are sites that allow users to post their own news items or links to other news sources. Very interactive na yung mga yung mga social news websites dito sa Pilipinas, and basically you can interact, you can comment, etc. Lagi na lang kayo, pag meron kayong nakikitang hindi maganda, ipapatulpo ko kayo. That is an example of that. Media sharing, balikan natin si Tulpo. Tulpo is just a program. Hindi siya TV program, hindi siya ang court, diba? So, we also need to determine saan ba dapat talaga idalhin ang mga social issues natin or even personal issues natin, di ba? And then we also have media sharing. These are sites that allow you to upload and share media content like images, music, and video. For music, video, you have there your, the best example of that is YouTube, and then images, the best example of that is Pinterest, and of course Instagram, di ba? Kasi Instagram is photo heavy na mga social media sites, okay? And then ang pinakauna niyan, I don't know if you are still aware, forshared.com. As in 4 na number and then shared.com. So yan yung pinakaunang media sharing na ilabas. Actually, si ForShared, isa just sa tumulong para mag-launch si Facebook. Okay? And then microblogging, these are sites that focuses on short updates from the user. Twitter is a best example of microblogging. You can actually tweet yung mga ilang limited numbers of characters lang and then post it, di ba? Usually, Facebook is also an example of a microblogging sites kasi although pwede tayo mag-post ng napakahaba, but most of us using it as microblog site kasi kung ano lang naisip natin, yun lang yung pinopost natin. And then we also have blogs and forums. These websites daw allows the user to post their content. So you create your own page, you create your own modified sites, and then ipopost mo lahat doon ng tungkol sa mga bagay na gusto mong i-post. Remember, you can post anything, but remember to always be responsible when it comes to posting anything in the internet. Okay, so number three, mobile technologies, eto na. So the popularity of smartphones and tablet has taken a major rise over the years. So we have here the operating systems, iOS for Apple, Android, Android of course, BlackBerry, operating system pinag-usapan natin, Windows Phone, Symbian, WebOS, and then Windows Mobile. Isa-isahin natin yan. Okay, so we also have here the assistive media. That is a non-profit service designed to help people na merong mga visual and reading impairment. So there are some devices that are created for them that allows them to actually read and see kung ano yung common na nakikita at nababasa ng mga normal and unimpaired user. Okay? And then, balikan ko lang si Sylvia. Of course, iOS for Apple, Android, BlackBerry, Nokia, I think. And then Windows for Microsoft. Symbian basically is for, especially made for those, babalikan ko kayo dyan. Pero I think it is made for, for people to, tama ba? It is made for people who has special requirement for them to be able to access the social media. I mean the device, okay? And then, of course, assisted media for those with impairment. And if you have no question, thank you everyone for that, and I will be providing you a next batch. Medyo busy lang si Sir dahil ang daming ginagawa in preparation for second semester, but I will try my best to provide you a supplemental lecture. Okay? Again, for questions, doon lamang tayo sa ating group chat. Okay? That's all. Thank you.